This is J2O, aka Kinetic, back at Grand Arena Championships Season 1, Set 1. You'll have Fly Eagles Fly as the first opponent. Straight into IT. And I believe it's against Bounty Hunters, yep. So this is classic IT matchup. I knew I outspeeded them, and this is how you have to continue to outspeed them. You get that immediate kill, and then you just go from there. And you see I use Death Mark on Boba, so he cannot res, and that's GG. Again, that's a very classic way to do that with IT. But you definitely have to be faster, otherwise it can get out of hand very quickly. And we have, what do we got? Darth Revan, it looks like. Darth Revan versus Darth Revan. So I'm gonna run DR, and I'm trying to decide whether I want to run a full squad or not. I mean, either way, as long as I run all Old Republic, I get the bonus for the crit damage. But I apologize to you guys. If I sound rough, it's because I'm getting over a cold here. So it does not start great. I do get my debuffs out ahead of their Bastila, which is good. But you'll see right here that things kind of turn south and then turn north very quickly. And so I'm gonna try to fear. Oh no, I don't. Interesting. But it works out good because Bastila ends up one-shotting everything. So this here is the classic Traya versus Night Sisters. This opponent, Fly Eagles Fly, went really heavy on defense. So I wasn't sure if I was gonna have enough depth to go after him. You'll see kind of how that plays out. I did go ahead and fast forward through this phase. It's classic Night Sisters. There's not a lot here that you haven't seen, I don't think. So yeah, I picked up this speed here, and it's a pretty typical matchup. My opponent didn't really wow with modding or anything, and he does run a Mother Talzin lead. I really like the Mother Talzin lead. I think it's more demanding for your mods to run this. With the Asajj lead, you really rely on high health and good damage to kind of carry you, and your turn meter comes from the leadership. But I like that Talzin can kind of revive and call assist on basics. There's a lot that I kind of like about her kit as opposed to Asajj, but both are very good. Asajj is definitely a great counter too for Imperial Troopers. Or if you don't want to go heavy on mods with Night Sisters and go more offensive. It's also really good for Sith Raid Phase 4. But you'll see here, just kind of slowly working them down. Nothing insane. Pretty standard. I love my Traya for this. It's a secure win, something you don't have to stress about. A really good Night Sisters team can pressure your Scion early until you get the res up. Jumping straight into the next one, I think we have CLS on CLS, just mirror matching them right now. And you'll see I do have Gear 13 Han. I did that for the damage. I probably didn't need Barris here. I don't really know what I was thinking. I was thinking maybe Chewie might need protection, but I think I thought Barris would be more useful for the whole team. And really, she just kind of isn't. I don't think I needed her. I think I had enough damage and enough speed that I could have 3-manned this pretty easy. But she's here, so and you'll see Han's crits start to really get out of control. Counters for so much damage. Gear 13 Han was a was something I initially knew right away that I wanted to do. And you might see that my main DR team does have 3 Gear 13s, but I've kind of spread around my remaining Gear 13s, and I'm trying to be logical about that approach and gear up the characters that are going to benefit the most. And Han obviously benefits significantly in physical damage and survival, so that was a really good choice, I think. This one was a scary matchup. I didn't know if I could get through it. At this point, I knew that, like, he didn't have much on offense because he put everything on defense. All his top tier stuff was out on defense here. So this was the team that I had for this matchup, and I was thinking, you know what? All I gotta do is get Probe Droid to blow up Traya, and the leadership's gone, and the Dispel's gone, and I can probably work down these guys. I knew Scion would be a handful if he got off his special, where he could res and all the way up, but I knew I just needed to try to get Trey out of there. So you'll see here I did set up Imperial Probe Droid, and Trey's got massive protection, and she survives. At this point, I thought I might be in big trouble here, because I'm thinking I missed my opportunity there, and I'm not going to get another chance. But Vader does land a hit here, and then Thrawn lands a pretty big non-crit to finish her off. So that was very fortunate. And at this point, I think I would have been happy just losing out and seeing if I can come back in here. But things go a little bit better than expected. Without Traya to enable Sith to dispel, now they're getting stuck in stuns. They're getting ability blocked. They're getting shocked, and between those 3 things, it allows me to control the field now. And so it was kind of an unintended consequence of taking Traya out. I just wanted her leadership gone, really, but that definitely was a very big factor in me being able to continue this fight out and hopefully eventually win it. So we do lose Shore Trooper there. It's good that he was taunting, because it would have probably not gone great if I would have lost somebody else. Thrawn with another DB. That's number 2 for him, and he can't crit worth a darn, but he's hitting pretty good on his white hits. I'm going to go ahead and go after Dooku and one-shot him with a non-crit at 39,000. And you'll see, like, between these 3, it's enough to control the whole field without Traya letting the Sith dispel. And that's perfect. Yeah, that works out really good. And it does look like I have this in the bag, as long as I can keep getting Fracture up to prevent Nihilus from soul draining and taking turns. We'll be okay. Just kind of working here slowly. He's got so much health from all the debuffs that were spread around throughout the fight. So I'm going to clean up. Yeah, he's got so much health. Good stun, another fracture, and any second here. Got him. Classic JTR versus First Order. Everyone knows JTR is a great matchup for First Order bounty hunters. I have been running JTR. I used to run JTR with just BB-8 and R2, but I remodded and transferred some good mods from her to some other teams, and I don't have as much confidence now. BB-8's still extremely fast, and R2 still gives a lot of offense to the team. Resistance Trooper's good, and I got Finn modded for my raid squad, but JTR definitely lost about 13 speed, I think, last time I remodded. And when you run the trio, her speed was a big factor in keeping her going ahead of other characters on the opposing team. And I've noticed that that 13 speed does make a difference. It does seem to have an impact on actual, reality. So I don't plan on remodding her back. I had to free up some mods, and she's got really solid mods for raids, and obviously countering the classic counter still. I just have to run a full. Well, I don't. I choose to run a full squad for that kind of safety. I do like Finn though, because Finn can allow the team to end with full health protection. It's really not a bad choice. There, right there, I just taunted and ended up with full health and protection, and he's got an evasion up, so he'll be dodging as soon as he takes a attack here. I should finish off these guys here at some point. Everything's full health, and so all it's a matter of just getting him off the table. So that was nice, 60 points, good win. And we're going to do first order against Padme. Yeah, it was a little bit of a weaker Padme. It's not like I'm going in against a 7-star Padme. But it was Gear 12, Anakin, Gear 12, Kenobi, Gear 11, Padme, Gear 11, Ahsoka, and I don't remember. I know Bears has the Zeta, but I don't remember if she was Gear 12 or Gear 11. They're okay. They were okay. I didn't know if this team would work. This is just the only team I had left, and so here we are trying it. So we'll find out if this is considered a soft counter. No, I don't think we could say that, but I think I fare very well in this fight, because it could have easily gone a completely different direction. And that taunt from Kenobi is annoying. Extremely annoying. And I think I might end up having to kill him. And the AI just makes some really bad decisions, and just mass attacked a non-taunting Kylo Ren when they could have finished off First Order TIE Pilot. It's very fortunate for me. He goes down anyway, but First Order Executioner starts to get rolling. And does he get him? There we go. It goes very quickly, and it looked bad. It looked like it was going to end up being very, very bad. But things kind of seem to get under control here, and as soon as I can get rid of Padme or Ahsoka, it's pretty much confirmed. Ahsoka can still kind of surprise, but without Anakin and Kenobi on the field, I don't think her damage will do as nearly as much. And so you see, I do pull that out. That was a very interesting matchup. Again, it was kind of only about what I had left, and I don't know, it worked. But again, I'm not trying to talk up this fight. Like it was a lower tier Padme team. So in composition it was good, but in reality it wasn't. See, here's the end. He actually put Jedi Knight Revan on the back line, and I just didn't have anything left. So, but at that point I knew I was good. I cleared 3 zones, cleared an extra team, and he had DR and Revan on defense. Like, he was not gonna challenge my front line. And you'll see what he did do on my front line here. He went after Padme, or attempted to, failed, and then he went up after my Kira and failed. So he just didn't have anything. My next opponent is actually much more challenging. A 328 Darth Revan, a 283 Darth Malak, 316 Bastille Fallen. Extremely good DR team. So I take a different strategy on defense, and I'll show you that here. You'll see I do have Jedi Revan there, and he actually was attacking the same time I was, so you're going to see some progress on that while I'm showing my battles. I'm not going to show. I ended up taking out the Night Sisters with Traya. In First Order, I go ahead and take in, I believe, Ewoks. Yeah, let's get some Ewok action on some First Order. It's a scary battle sometimes too. Kind of like reminds me of IT versus Night Sisters it can work, but you need a little bit of RNG. It's just a little too risky for my liking. Um, the Ewok turn train here doesn't get going great in the beginning. The Kylo Ren pre-taunt with the Zeta actually kind of helps disrupt that. And eventually one day I'll put the Zeta on my Kylo for the same reason. Because I think it is one way to kind of force your opponent to stumble with Ewoks. Great for territory war too, if you run First Order on defense. But this team is definitely, the comp he's running, I personally believe is more of an offensive First Order team, which is why I've transitioned mine to offense as well. I don't have First Order Stormtrooper. To me, that's the ideal defensive situation. Maybe First Order Executioner, Kylo Ren's, and Barriss and First Order Stormtrooper. It's a very, very firm defensive team. First Order Executioner can really push out some damage. As long as you've got one of those tanks taunting, your opponent's gonna have to use something a little bit better than Ewoks, I think. It depends, I guess, where you have them gear-wise. Mine are gear 11s, so it can challenge most, especially when it's a weaker comp like that. His Kylo does have like 45 or 46k health. It's actually really pretty decent. I don't remember if he was gear 12 or not, but he had a good amount of health, and I kind of came into this knowing that it's possible my Ewoks may not be able to kill him. And you'll see here that it's kind of proving out, and I think I realize it here as time is chipping away. You see I did speed the battle up a little bit too. So I realized that, and it's like, okay, you know what, I'm going to have to just kill who I can. I think you'll see I put it on auto eventually. And I'm not getting any crits. I just very unlucky. And my Wicket has like 50 some odd 55% crit, 52% crit, something like this. There you go. Now he's starting to crit. But I'm going to auto it just to see if they can get through, but I don't think it's going to go well. This is the other counter to Ewoks, really, have a very high health Kylo Ren. So the Zeta and the high health. And really, all it does is force your opponent to bring a second team in. And that's good, though. That's good from a defensive perspective because it gives you points. It gives you extra points for that. And really, that's all you can ask for, I think, from First Order. You're not really expecting them to hold up against the third and fourth tier of your opponent's offenses. You see, I do draw. I do take him out, though. I don't think I show that, but then we're going to go JTR again. And I forget what we're attacking here. Look, probably bounty hunters. A really good bounty hunters team, actually. So it is a good thing that I did run a full team. Sorry, guys. I need some water here. Did run a full team, and it's probably it's not the ideal comp. I don't like Greedo personally. I think Django makes more sense. If you're going to run a full bounty hunter squad, Zam Wessel and Django with Boba and Dengar and Bosk. I think that's the best 5 bounty hunters you can put together with a Bosk lead. I think I would change that for a Django lead. I think Embo's a good character to run with a Django lead. And because of the spell and the speed bonus that Django gives, it can make him very dangerous. You see, just typical clean. They're doing good work. Zam put some damage out on the team there. And that's something I may look at, because Resistance Trooper did get a buff to his protection, but he still seems very squishy. And so what I may look to do in the future is maybe take my JTR to another level. Um, it looks like Amelin Holdo and Resistance Trooper got really nice buffs for the Gear 13. And it's not on my immediate plate, but that is definitely something that I think I want to experiment with and get Amelin Holdo up to Gear 13. Her health goes way up, which, I need to get her some mods, but I think that will be a really nice thing, and her survival goes way up. And Resistance Trooper is one of the top damage gains. So we got Emperor Palpatine with Thrawn. I've been splitting Thrawn out to this team as opposed to the Darth Revan team whenever I can. But typically I'll run Thrawn on my DR team in Arena. You'll see things are going well. And I'm just going to kind of work through these guys. I'm not sure if they even take a turn, to be honest. Just the Terminator train is just rolling right now. And, there's buff immunity out. There's dots everywhere. There's speed up. There's ability blocks. I mean, you name it, it's out there. And every time they die, they give up all those buffs, which gives all the Terminator. And that's what big problem with OR is. It can really rock you if you take a slow team in on it, but any of those Terminator gain teams, you just can't hang with it. It takes way too good of mods to make it viable. So you see Backline's got General Grievous and Geonosians. And Geonosians are pretty scary right now. I'll show you how mine did on defense shortly. But they're pretty dangerous. And so I'm going to run my Padme. And I've been running Padme on offense now. And it's because C-3PO. I like the option to not use C-3PO with Padme and use C-3PO with CLS if I need to. And so I've decided that running Padme and CLS on offense, it makes a lot of sense for me. Doesn't mean I won't put them on defense if I identify that my opponent doesn't have a lot to counter, or maybe they don't have a developed Traya. So I'll put a lot of Traya heavy defenses, like, Traya specifically counters those teams. And Padme is definitely one of those teams that is countered by Traya, and not much else. CLS not much anymore. JTR struggles. You saw I was able to take a weaker one with First Order, but it's not reliable. But this Grievous team just kind of falls apart. He does have both Zetas on Grievous. But the protection up stays up, and so every time Grievous AoEs, the team stays healthy, so not bad. That's exactly what you want to happen. Apparently Kenobi just wrecked Magna Guard. I don't know how that occurred, but Anakin's angry, so he's gonna hit. But I like where Anakin's at. I like where Padme's team is at. I love this team. I'm working to make them a DR counter so that maybe I can potentially put DR on defense once I have Malak. So you'll see. So I know Geonosians are dangerous. There's what the other side has, is a Bastila lead, no Zeta, and a weaker Kira team. I say weaker because Nest is basically the component of that matters. So you see I'm running CLS against Geonosians. The strategy here is basically just raw damage. It doesn't matter that they equalize because you simply out damage their ability to equalize and then regenerate protection. So that's kind of what I've found that you have to do with Geos, is basically just out gear them, out gear them. Like even if they're gear 12, like my CLS team is gear 13 Han. It's not going to be enough. It's just not enough. The equalization will keep them alive for a while, but the damage is coming faster than, you know, they're pushing Chewy a little bit here, but you see they don't hit great. The exposes kind of stink. That definitely helps with the damage, but you see they're just picking them apart. Hive mind bonus. That's one thing I should have done, is targeted the lead. If you're ever targeting Geos and you're underwhelmed there, you can kind of Zerg him down a little bit, and that's definitely the route to take, because then it gets rid of the hive mind, and then it gets rid of all the equalization and all the bonuses. I definitely did not follow my lead on how I approached that battle there. That was just a out gear, and that was it. So next one we have First Order, and I'm actually not sure. I forget what we're going after. Maybe Bastila. I think it's the only thing that's left, right? It's Bastila and the Kira team. Yeah, so I guess I could have taken First Order against Kira, but I found the Bastila team to be more dangerous, and I didn't have much left, so I wanted to get in here and see what we could do with that. So I'm going to try to stop Bastila from putting up damage buffs on somebody, specifically Anakin. I brought in... I really need to get our friend there, Xeris, back on defense. I just don't know what team to run her on right now, because I moved my First Order to an offensive team. Well, most of the time. But she's just kind of like a soft gate, like for your opponent if he's low on resources at the end of a fight. And it makes a lot of sense to have her on the defense somewhere, as long as she fits on the team. So, see here, basically just controlling the turn meter train with crits is out of control right now, and so I don't think Basil is even taking a turn, and that's probably more due to the poor modding. But the poor modding plus the turn meter train that's going on over in First Order side, and she hasn't even had a chance. So it goes really well. I didn't know that was a viable counter, but it's just kind of what I'm discovering with First Order. They're a really offensive group, and when they're player controlled, they can do pretty big things. And you're gonna see the last battle here with the Kira nest, and I will run Imperial Troopers, and it was an undergeared team, but keep in mind my troopers are only gear 10 as well, so it's pretty comparable. That team was gear 10 and 11, and I think L3 was gear 12. So, but right now, got the counters up, just trying to get that initial kill, and L3 is kind of messing that up, and Nest is kind of countering everything, and so it's not looking great, but then that AoE really helps make things work for us. And so you see I'm going to get rid of Han here before he takes a turn and taunts and starts feeding the whole team turn meter. I actually really like Scoundrel Han, or Stormtrooper Han on Kira. I run the same sometimes on defense. He did get a protection buff too, and he looks really good survival walls at gear 13, and that could be something I also look to do in the future for the Scoundrels team, is kind of buff him up, but I'm gonna have to remod him. I'm gonna have to get him some better speed mods, because I think for him to be really viable for a team like that, you've got to have a really fast time. And that battle overview real quick. Now I was able to effectively one-shot the top front. I was able to take out First Order in 2 attempts with Ewoks and another follow-up. And then I was able to finish off his back line with one-shots. And sometimes it's a danger, it's like, had I known what was on the back line, perhaps I could have not used Ewoks on First Order. But that's kind of a strategy as well. You'll see what he did against me here. He was able to get through my front 2. I actually had done DR and Jedi Knight Revan on defense because he had a better Darth Revan. And so I wanted to make sure I secured one side. if he kept DR on defense, and he actually kept it on offense, and I still was able to secure one side. So that's probably perfect case scenario. You'll see what I had back there: General Grievous and Kira with Nest. And so my final opponent, Dodge. I don't have any footage from this. I mean, I did, but it's kind of irrelevant. You'll see what he put on defense. I didn't expect to see Dodge here. He had an opponent that was a very, very good on paper opponent. I don't know what he did. He must have fallen asleep at the wheel. Or Dodge's strategy worked, and you'll see what strategy that is. His strategy was to put his Night Sister team back on the back line, and his Night Sister team did threaten my Scion and was very close to killing him, and that was all I had left for that. So, but you'll see he did take 2 attempts on General Grievous, exactly what you're going for with that. He took 2 attempts on Janet Revan. That's great. It's not what I necessarily expect. He ends up taking 3 attempts on my 63k GP bugs. Those guys are a pain in the butt. And he stumbles there on Kira. And so that was all I needed to win that.